Hi everyone, you're welcome to another episode of the Selfscape podcast. I am Hadi, as always, and I'm excited to be here again. You people did not tell me that you like romance, so you people like love so much because all things romance. This episode is my third most listened to episode on this podcast. I'm shocked. I'm really shocked. Like, I was so surprised when I went to check the stats last night. All number of listeners, I'm like, wait, what's going on here? How are you people even finding this episode? Because this is the episode that I didn't even talk about. This is the episode that I didn't do, like, I didn't make posts about as much. I remember when I first published the episode, I only sent it to one person. I'm like, oh, there's a new episode on the pod, just listen to it. And I woke up the next day seeing it had gained a lot of listeners, and I'm like, I don't understand. I didn't post this thing anywhere. Like, I didn't post it on Twitter, I didn't post it on Instagram, I didn't post it on WhatsApp. Where are all these listeners coming from? My God. I think that was like people are listening to your podcast moment for me. Then people started to text me. I know I said text me and send me messages on Instagram, on Twitter and everything about your opinion. But I was not expecting, to be very honest, I didn't think that I would get responses. I got so many DMs, even from people that I would not in my life imagine are listening to my podcast. How are you finding this podcast? Who is recommending it to you? I am stoked. I won't even lie, I'm very stoked. I'm also very thankful. I'm just a girl and I'm really just sharing my thoughts. And sometimes they seem like all over the place. And I am just amazed at how you are able to relate to them or how relatable they are. And just thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for telling your friends. When I blow, let me blow first, then I'll think of what I will do. I'm really grateful and I'm so thankful. This episode, people have blown my mind. But people like love. You like love a lot, and I can see that now. So maybe we'll do this every February. Maybe, God willing, God keep us. We'll make February a love month, and we'll talk about love every February. Let's see how that goes. So in the last episode, All Things Romance, if you're new here, if this is your first time listening and you haven't listened to that episode, please go and listen to it. I shared some things that I have been thinking about for a while. A lot of people actually give me their responses. So I said to myself, there has to be a part two. There has to be a part two to this episode. It cannot end there, because when I was sharing that was my own perspective. That was my own thoughts, my own experience. And I did mention that I wanted people that were living these things, or people that had experienced these things, to reach out to me and to send me a message and tell me their thoughts or share their opinions with me. And I actually got some responses to that regard. So we're going to talk about them here. Obviously, I'm going to keep everybody anonymous. I'm not going to mention names or anything like that. But we have to talk about this thing, because now I have a more balanced perspective. Like, now I'm seeing from both sides, right? Not just from my own perspective. But it will shock you to know that some things I said, I was actually right. Exceptions do not make the rule. Exceptions are not the standard. So there will always be exceptions, but it doesn't mean that that's how things work, or it doesn't mean that that's exceptions are set in stone, right? It is what it is. It's life. So let's get into it. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, by the way, to all the real lovers, all the boos and bays. Happy Valentine's. I hope that you had a wonderful Valentine's Day, or that you are having one, because I think the entire month should be Valentine's Day. I think every day of the year should be, but I get the sentiment of one day. Regardless, I hope that you had a wonderful time. I hope that your boo was actually your boo and your bae was your bae, and you got really wonderful gifts and had a wonderful time. Yes. In the last episode, I talked about workplace romance, and I talked about transitioning from best friend to lovers. And I asked I asked two questions actually. And I said, what do you think about workplace romance? Is it something that you will do? Would you actually consider dating your colleague if your workplace allowed it? And I said, for best friend to lovers, how long is too long to transition from best friend to lovers? And would you actually date your best friend? Like, would you consider dating your best friend? So I got a few interesting responses, and I'm going to read them. You already know my thoughts. If you don't know my thoughts, you need to go and listen to the episode. So somebody said to me, if it's mutual, let's do it. Plus, it's supposed to grow from the basis of friendship. And then I asked, so you wouldn't mind if you've been friends for about 3 to 5 years and they suddenly confess to you? And the person said, funny how you can be friends and all of a sudden start developing feelings. You suddenly miss them, but you're either scared of losing the friendship or you don't even know what you're doing, and you don't want to ruin your friendship and everything. If they then tell you that, oh, I have feelings for you, it then makes more sense and becomes like a mutual thing, and you guys can start a relationship. Look, I get it. I mean, I understand. I feel like maybe you guys have been friends for so long and you didn't know. You knew that you liked this person and you always wanted to be around them. I always wanted to spend time with them. You just love doing life with them, but you're friends. And so you can equate that to being like, oh, we're just friends. That's why. One day you can have an epiphany and realize that, oh, it's more than friendship. I understand that. I feel like, yes, it can happen. I think it has happened a lot of times. So that I can understand. You can have an epiphany one day and then come to the realization that, yeah, I actually really like this person. Like I really, 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 really like this person, and it's more than friendship for me. So I asked a follow-up question. I said, in this instance, would you advise the female friend to confess first or to hold on to her feelings, especially if she doesn't know whether the guy likes her in that way? And the response I got was, hold on to it though. See, let me tell you something. I have some views when it comes to relationship and when it comes to being in a romantic relationship or, that sort of thing. I do not believe and I do not subscribe to the idea or to the thoughts that women should shoot their shots, or women should ask a man out, or ask a man to be her boyfriend, or ask a man to be her husband. And I know that this thing I'm saying, a lot of people come for me. I really do not care, to be very honest, because again, exceptions do not make the rule. They do not. People have done it and it has worked for them. Congratulations. But it doesn't make it the rule. It doesn't make it the standard. Like I said, my opinion, my perspective, you can have yours. I'm not going to disagree with you. But I don't believe it. I just do not. A man is supposed to be the one to go and look for a wife. He that finds a wife finds a good thing. He that finds, the key word there is finds, which means that he was searching. He should be searching. I don't think it's the woman that should search for a husband. I think that when a man comes and proposes, a relationship, it's then up to the woman to decide if she's accepting that proposal or not. But I do not think that it's her role to search for a husband or to search for a boyfriend or to propose a relationship. So I really do not subscribe to the idea or to the thought of women shooting their shot. I would rather chew jeans. I'm not even joking. Only work. Women should not shoot their shot. It is the man's role to search and to find. It is the woman's role to refuse or to accept. It's up to her to decide if this is a choice that suits her, that makes her life 10 times better. And I know you can say like, why does the man get to choose? Why not? The man was once searching and he found that in that process of searching and finding, he made his choice. So the woman should also take her time to decide if this man that has found her is the man that she wants to be with. Anyway, we can have that episode another time. So many things to talk about, so relationship people. Anyway, I don't subscribe to the idea of women shooting their shots. I feel like men know what they want. Men know what they want. And so if you're shooting your shot and a man doesn't want you, you're wasting your time. You are wasting your time. 1000%. You're wasting your time. So yeah. Another person said, I would date my friend if he's a serious person and not one of those friends you look at sometimes and say in your mind, the girl that is dating this boy is trying. There's some friends that you have, you can't even lie. You look at them and you're like, the person that would date you will try. You just know that you have bad character. I can't date you. I can't be in a relationship with you. It just it's not for me. You're not for me. I think a lot of people are really open to dating their friends, their best friend, because it comes with some form of security. Like, I've known this person, I know how they think, I know how their mind works, I know like what they are capable of doing to an extent, because you can't actually really know everybody's heart. You can't know the deepest parts of a man, let's be honest. But friendship brings some form of security and some form of stability, and you're like, yeah, I feel like it can work because we have a dynamic already that works. We understand each other and it will just grow from there. So I mean, I get it. Will I do it? No, I wouldn't. I still would not do it. I mean, no, I will not do it. But I understand it, honestly. I really get it. Then the person goes on to say, sometimes it takes a while to transition. Some friendships can never transition. Yeah, actually, I have friends that I've known for 10 plus years. We can never date. It can never transition. I'm sorry. At this point, you're already a family member. You're my brother. You're my uncle. you're my relative, we're blood. We can never cross the line, like never, because it has become too close. We have become too close to even think about other things. I have other responses, and somebody says, it depends on the person. If the feeling is mutual, sure. Moreover, as my friend, I already know certain things about you, and if they would align with my values and life as a partner. Like I said, I feel like it comes with a sense of security, a sense of, I don't need to go through a talking stage. Like I don't need to tiptoe around you for a couple of months just to figure out who you are and all those things. I already know you. I've seen you in your lowest of lows. I've seen your highest of highs. Likewise, vice versa. I know the things that work for you and the things that don't work for you. I've met your family. You've met my family. Like all those things you would have to do in a relationship, without the romance of it. Like all the mechanics of things, all the mechanics of a working romantic relationship. We have done those things to an extent. So it's like, it's just feelings that remain. Let's add the feelings to make it complete. Do you get? So I mean, I understand it. You're not going to have to do all of the things that, people that are meeting for the first time and trying to get to know one another and trying to be in a relationship will do, because you guys have done those things already. You already know one another. There's no like, oh, I'm trying to get to know you. I cannot be myself around you yet. That kind of thing. Yeah. Another person said, and this one is really interesting, because I asked you guys for, if you have experienced it, give me a response. And this is a response from somebody that is currently living in it. So this is actually really interesting. It was a very lengthy conversation because I really wanted to understand their perspective. So this person says, well, I'm currently in a relationship with my best friend. I mean, we've been best friends for over 3 years. This takes me back to, I think, the first response or the first question I asked, which is, if you've been friends for about 3 to 5 years, would you consider it? And the person says yes, because you can get to a place where you have an epiphany and you're like, oh more. Like say I like my friend. So I mean, this is sort of similar. Let me just share a story. I remember hearing a marriage counselor explaining that the best relationships work when the relationship is growing from friendship. And I look back and I see that that's the reason I had some failed relationships, because aside from not knowing who and how my person worked, I also didn't know how true their feelings were towards me. Again, the sense of security. Your friend, and you have seen your friend in every way, their lows, their highs. You know how their mind, how they feel about you, because there have been instances where they've had to prove their feelings for you, or they've done things that in your mind you're like, wow, this person really likes me, or this person really cares for me, or your relationship with them has been proven and tried, and it has come out on top. So you can tell that if I do go into a relationship with this person, there's safety, there's stability, because this is who they are. And then he says, I've been friends with this person and we've been just on friend levels. I could have sworn on my life that I wouldn't be in a relationship with her, but the Lord had other plans. So I asked him, I said, so you didn't know you liked her in all 3 years of friendship? And he says, I liked her, but I didn't see a relationship coming. She always seemed like the perfect person and I never saw myself in her picture. We knew everything about each other, but I knew I had a thing for her when I realized that in every lady I was with, I looked out for qualities I saw in her. Again, I said the epiphany thing. You realize that what you've been looking for in Sokoto has actually been in your Sokoto. Hey! Oh my God, oh. It's actually interesting. Like, it's interesting how the human mind works. Like, it's crazy, or it's not crazy, but it's just really interesting to hear, to see, to experience, right? You were in a relationship with people, it didn't work. And then at the end of every relationship, or maybe you were thinking like, why did I have failed relationships so much? And you just come to a realization that, it's because I've been trying to date my friend. So every time I'm dating somebody, every time I'm trying to date somebody, I'm thinking of, let's say my friend's name is Leslie. I'm thinking of somebody like Leslie. I want to date somebody like Leslie. So all my relationships were not working because I'm looking for Leslie in this person and I can't see it. I can't find it. And so it's like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? And then you realize, it's like I like Leslie. That's why I'm having this issue. Hey, see why they used to say people should, if you are dating somebody that has a female bestie, there is a very good chance that he likes his female bestie. This is why they used to say that your significant other should not have bestie. Do you people see? Not like they can have bestie, but of the opposite sex. Because just imagine you are dating this boy and he's liking his bestie, but he didn't know he's liking his bestie. So you are having issues because he's looking for his bestie in you. Hey! Oh my gosh. Okay, let me rearrange myself. But like, I can't date somebody that has a female best friend. I'm sorry, really, Shay. Because why? Why am I not your best friend? Why is a guy not your best friend? Why is a woman your best friend? Like, no. My best friend is a girl. She's a wonderful, sweet girl. So why are you having a female bestie? I have a female bestie. That's enough for both of us. You go and look for a male bestie. So anyway, he then says, although we talked sometimes about how we felt, but it wasn't serious. You guys were confessing your feelings to one another. How isn't it serious? Then a few months before we conceived the actuality of a romantic relationship, we're in certain endearments. My bestie or bestie? As also my brother, my sister. Now they turn to God when. You people should listen to that song. It's titled God When by Angelo. It just really encapsulates the best friend thing in a way. Your best friend's only your friend, but you and your friend, you know. Anyhow, so then he says, one bright afternoon in July, a very sunny, bright, shining afternoon, she sends me this long email talking about how she truly felt. You know, I actually picked a fight with him because of this statement, because in my mind, I was like, you let her shoot her shot. Like, you know that you like this girl, but you waited for her to tell you how she felt. And then he clarified. So, he says, I didn't let her shoot her shot. I had already told her that I liked her before she sent me the email. That was actually the very first move in this whole thing. It was like 8 to 9 months before, but we didn't push it further because I cared about our friendship and I felt like a relationship would make it go sour. But we knew that we had feelings for each other. Several times I would tell her that we can actually make a relationship work, but we would just laugh about it. And it was even discouraging me. I get you. Then he says, when she sent me the mail, she said it was a mistake because the email was actually long, but it was incomplete. It was from her journal. I don't know if she meant to send it, but she's a very honest person and she said it was a honest mistake, that she didn't even know that she had sent it and she didn't know how to unsend it. And she didn't talk to me for a while after she sent it because she was so embarrassed. But somehow that was my green light. And honestly, I didn't let the mail make me ask her to be my girlfriend immediately. We actually prayed about it. I told myself that I didn't want to make the mistakes I made in my previous relationships. So we prayed about it and I talked to some older and respectable people too before I asked her out. My pastor used to say that if you're dating a man that does not have a higher authority over him, nobody can talk to him, nobody can give him advice. It doesn't even have to be a pastor. Like, his friends cannot talk to him, his uncles cannot give him, like there's nobody that can talk to him. He's an alpha male. You are in trouble. You are in big if you are in that relationship, you are in big trouble, I promise you. Because what do you mean nobody can talk to you? Are people not talking to you? Because you don't know everything. Nobody's an island of knowledge. There have been times where I have made certain decisions, or I want to make certain decisions, and I reach out to my friend. I really like talking to Dima so much because she's such a sound and mature person. Like, she's so wise beyond her years, and having a conversation with her just helps me see a different and better perspective. At first, I may not agree, but then I would think about it. Yeah, this actually makes so much sense, and I'll come back to tell her, like, okay, you know that thing that I told me that other time, yeah, it actually makes sense to me now. And I love the fact that sometimes she understands that in that moment, I don't want to hear it, but she would tell me the truth because she's my friend, because she cares about me. And she would sometimes give me time to process. And then later she'd be like, I'm telling you this because I love you. It's not because I hate you or anything. And I've come to understand that when she shares an opinion with me, she's sharing it from a place of love. And I take it. I listen to her. I take it. And I actually act on it. So if you're dating somebody, whether you're a guy or you're a girl, and in a relationship with a person that doesn't have other people that you listen to, you're in problem. You need to check out before they check you out. Like, you need to leave before they leave you. So yeah, this particular story, I mean, I get the perspective of how you can be friends with somebody. Like I said again, I needed to hear other people's perspective because I had my own opinion and I had my own take on this conversation. So hearing that a relationship can blossom from a friendship because you should come to like a realization that I think I like this person a lot. I didn't know that I like this person until today. And I understand it. I see that perspective. Like, I understand it now, how friends can transition to lovers and how best friends can transition to being in a relationship. It comes to a sense of security. It comes to a sense of ease, compared to if you're meeting a person for the first time, right? And also, like, it's not like, oh, you are settling. You aren't really settling. You just didn't know that you liked this person like this. You thought it was just friends, and then you had the realization that you actually like this person, which is great. I mean, I'm happy for everybody, that has found love in their best friends and, having thriving, healthy relationships. But for me, I don't think I can do it. I'd rather meet somebody for the first time, get to know them. Also, I don't know. I cannot do it. I'm happy for everybody. I have a balanced take. So I wouldn't actually say, oh, friends to lovers is a bad thing. No. What I said in the first episode, which is like, never, I wouldn't say that anymore. I have a balanced take. I have a better perspective to it. I wouldn't say that anymore. But will I do it? No, I wouldn't do it. That's just the difference. Other people can do it, and I think it's okay. So because now I can see that it's not all that bad. It's not how I envisioned it. So yes, great, but I wouldn't do it. Now let's come to workplace romance. Oh my God, this episode is getting really long. I'm so sorry. Workplace romance. So I knew that I said that I would never do it. And I had so many people agree with me that never. Work is work, romance is romance. Do not mix business and pleasure. In fact, somebody said I wouldn't cheat where I eat. That's what somebody said. Person said I wouldn't cheat where I eat. And it just makes so much sense, because why? Why are you doing it? Somebody reached out to me and said, I think companies and workplaces should make it a priority and sensitize their employees why it's not the best for them to bring relationship to work. Work is work. Whatever you guys have outside the office should remain outside. Bringing it may jeopardize the workflow of not just the parties involved, but the entire team. And I agree. Why are you doing workplace romance? What are you people doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you dating your colleague? And I have this take that says, I've been there, I've done that, never again. Funny enough, I was dating the co-founder. Work was smooth though. When it was work time, it was strictly official. I took corrections and I did my job. I remember those times we were on a date and still had to be in meetings. We had to sit separately so we couldn't hear each other during calls. But when we broke up, I was sacked. You guys, no. He claimed they couldn't continue paying me, but I kind of feel like it was a lie. I was hurt though, and never again. Funny thing is, my current workplace supports workplace romance, and I will roll on the floor laughing if my colleague says, I like you, because what do you even mean? But then again, who knows how you meet your life partner? You guys, no. I didn't even talk about that last week. The breakup is always messy because you have to still go to work and you have to see this person every day of the week. 5 times in a week. 5 times in a week. You people are going to be seeing yourselves after breaking up. Then imagine he starts to flirt or she starts to flirt with other colleagues. It will pain you. It will pain you like mad. No, I can't. I'm sorry. Now look at this person's experience. She was dating her boss. And this is not even about her relationship, or this is not a shade to her or anything. But I've heard other people's experiences, like when it comes to dating their boss. And I always say, I feel like your boss is taking an advantage of you. There is a power play there. He's your superior. You are a subordinate. There is a power play in that relationship already. If you don't want to be in that relationship, you have to be there because you could potentially lose your job, your source of livelihood. I do not like it. I do not support it. Dating your boss. For some people, they will say, oh, we eventually got married and everything. Good for you. But it is an exception. It is not the rule. There is always a power play when you are dating your boss, when you are dating your superior, because these people are in positions of power. They can determine how your work experience goes in that company. You cannot break up with them because you will think about your job. If I break up with this person, will I lose my means of livelihood or not? Will it affect my career? Will it ruin my career trajectory? Even if you don't want to be there anymore, you would consider staying for your peace of mind, for your sanity. Workplace romance, no. Work is work. Don't bring romance into it. It ruins everything. It just changes the dynamics of things. That's my opinion. If you have a different opinion, you can share with me. You can send me a DM on Instagram, Selfscape Pod on Instagram or Twitter, or you can even send like a private DM to my own Instagram personally or to my own Twitter. Or you can leave a comment or you can send an email or something. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you would date your boss or anything like that. And Would you date your best friend as well? This has just been a wonderful episode in my opinion. Thank you so much for listening to the other episodes. Let's make this one to do numbers, okay? Let's share it with our friends. This is the month of love. And happy Valentine's Day to you. Again, I hope you had a wonderful Valentine. I will probably share my Valentine experience in March, or I probably never will. I don't know. I had a good day. I did. Yeah. We've come to the end of this episode. I didn't think this episode would be this long, but it is. But please bear with me. I'm pretty sure you actually will enjoy this episode, because I'm sharing other people's perspectives, not just mine. Yeah, thank you so much for listening to this episode again. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you have a wonderful time listening, and you share with your friends and you tell them about Selfscape. I'm working on something for the month of March. I can't say what it is yet, but I am working on something. We're going to have a wonderful time in March. It's my birth month. So we're going to have a blast on the spot. We are going to have a blast. I'm going to turn 28. Oh my God. We're going to have a blast, I promise. But yeah, in the next episode, we are still talking about relationships. We're still talking about love and everything. So stay tuned and have a wonderful weekend. Bye y'all.